Hello, friends, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Anya, with Restream team in Austin, Texas, and this is Creator Spotlight. During the show, we interview content creators and share their stories. Usually, it's a success story about someone who did something amazing with live video. And of course, we run this show on Restream Studio, and this is, in my opinion, the easiest and probably the most seamless way to send your professional and beautiful live videos to all social media channels at the same time. So if you're thinking about starting your own live show just like this one, you might as well start at restream.io/studio. My guest today is Shay Rawbottom. She is the live LinkedIn video coach and video marketer and public speaker. Hello, Shay, and welcome to the show.
Hello, Anya. Thank you so much for having me.
That is so exciting! I'm super thrilled to have you. This is amazing, and for people who are just joining us, everybody, welcome to the show. This is a two-way street. This is a conversation, and we welcome your questions. Of course, most of you know who Shay is. She's one of the top voices on LinkedIn. She currently has over 615,000, last time I checked, followers on the platform. So if you have your burning questions about LinkedIn, this is the time and place to ask them. And we have a lot of grounds to cover. So we'll basically just start right in with a couple of questions that I had for you. And for folks who are joining us in the chat, please let us know what kind of content you post on LinkedIn currently. It could be articles, maybe photos, recorded videos, live streams. We would just like to understand what you guys are doing on LinkedIn currently. Even if you're not approved for LinkedIn Live and you still engage with different kind of content, just let us know so we can kind of fill the room and hopefully cater the questions towards what you guys are working on. So yeah, good stuff. I think we will go ahead. I'm seeing some folks here joining. That's amazing. Just to acknowledge our first comers. Jared says, "Okay, thank you so much." Anderson Gray, one of our influencers and partners, says, "Is this a new microphone, Anya?" No, it's the same one. It's just the new background that makes everything better. And yeah, and of course, there's a question about how to get approved on LinkedIn, and that is something that we will definitely cover today, at least from Shay's perspective. It's not an official LinkedIn company's position, but we'll definitely share the tips that we have with you guys. So I guess my first question for you, Shay, would be what is the most common question that you get about LinkedIn Live and live video in general from your clients and people you work with?
Um, Actually, just how to utilize it. I think that's the most commonly asked question. A lot of people get approved for live. As we've seen, it is a little random who's getting approved and who's not. So what I've found is people are getting approved and they don't know what to do with it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I got access to this great feature, but now what?" And that's why it's so important to follow creators like yourself, because you really lay out a blueprint for how to create an engaging show and what you can actually do on LinkedIn Live. And we actually broke down some of this yesterday in my interview of Anya on my live. We were talking about different strategies for sales, for growth, or even just, awareness and exposure around your industry. So I would say the most commonly asked question is, what do I do with this? Because it's still fairly new.
Amazing. That's a good question. But yeah, let's kind of rewind a little bit and come back to the question that leads to this question is how to get approved on LinkedIn. And I do see a couple of questions in that sense. There, Jared is asking, how do I get approved? And there is another one that I highlighted earlier from Coaching Skull. What is the best way to get LinkedIn approval when you request it for live streaming? So what's your tips? And again, we all realize that that's not something that exactly directly from LinkedIn. This is just your experience. LinkedIn Live is a separate company. They have their own kind of like rules and regulations. But what's your suggestion? What is your opinion in terms of how do you get approved if you're not yet approved?
Yeah, great question. So I would say keep applying. It can take multiple times, but also just asking. It's who you know. So if you can actually put out a post on LinkedIn, just being honest, "Hey guys, I'm trying to get approved for live. Does anyone know anyone at LinkedIn? Can anyone help me?" And for myself, I actually did a music video. I don't know if you remember this, Anya, on Christmas. I did a all I want for all I want for Christmas is LinkedIn Live, like like a parody of the Mariah Carey song, but I did it around like wanting live. So that was actually planned. to release, and then I got live. So it was really funny because I was like going to do this whole music video to get attention and build a campaign and get everyone, looking on my page like, why doesn't she have live? And then I got approved and I was like, oh shucks, I have this really good video idea though. Now what? And I thought, well, I'm just going to do the campaign anyways, and now I'll just draw awareness to the live that I already have scheduled. So you can look it up. It's on my YouTube under my skits playlist, but it's all I want from LinkedIn is live. And I just made it super creative and fun. And what I found was like everyone in the comments being like, oh my God, LinkedIn, you have to give this woman live. I can't believe she doesn't have live. And like she's doing all of this. So just through the effort and the work that I put into that piece of content, I got a lot of people to vouch for me. Now, other people going to LinkedIn saying, can you please give this woman live? And that's exactly what happened. Even though I did technically already get approved for live, the campaign worked flawlessly. I got connected to bigger LinkedIn creators. People started messaging me like, oh my gosh, I have a connection at LinkedIn. Do you need help? I got you. And also just, again, following places like Restream, other live platforms that maybe have free tips on how to get approved. But I do think a great way is to get creative and just simply make a post about it, raising awareness on your LinkedIn.
This is an amazing story. It would be really funny if you got it for Christmas, just like the song was was kind of saying. And this is a good way of thinking. It's a mindset question here. Like, yeah, you might just continue applying. You might be saying, "Oh gosh, this is not happening for me. Why is this?" and be upset about this. Or you can actually turn this challenge that you have in terms of getting approved for LinkedIn Live into some kind of a creative opportunity and create something like a song or maybe an art, right? Like if you're
Yeah,
not good at singing, I'm not good at singing. I shouldn't be making
I'm
any
not, I'm
songs.
not either, but I still did it. I still did it. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a
I
good
mean, I'm
approach as
decent.
well.
But this is
That's
actually, I'll drop it in the chat here, is
mhm.
the link to it. So I'll drop that
Awesome.
so
I
people
will
can see.
definitely
Yeah.
share it. And if we find a way to play it, because we can actually share the screen and play
We
the
could,
song,
yeah,
we
we
might do it in the end of the show. So
yeah,
stick
I was
around
gonna say we don't
to hear the "All I Want for Christmas"
live.
is live. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. So a couple of comments here. So Chris is saying, "I love using LinkedIn Live to connect to different audiences that are on my other social channels. This is amazing." And Ian says, "I'm interested to know if there's a good ratio between posting text, pre-recorded video, and live video on LinkedIn." So Shay, what you got on this one?
Yeah, that's also a commonly asked question, Anya. I would say it's healthy to have a mix. So, one thing to keep in mind with these platforms is they're always changing. So, what's heavily favored in the algorithm right now can shift, and that's why I never fret when like video views are down or the algorithm's shifted and videos are lower. People will come to me like, what are you going to do, Shay? Like, videos are down on LinkedIn now. Doc uploads are going way more viral. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to continue to make videos and do what I'm good at because I understand that these platforms are an ebb and a flow. And if you just abandon one thing altogether and dive all into another, you're going to have a very frustrating cycle of work that you create for yourself when you're constantly chasing the changing platforms. The reality is they are always changing. The algorithm sometimes favors videos, sometimes favors text posts, doc uploads, articles, whatever. So I say have a balance, have a mix, equip yourself with the tools that you at the very least know how to create content in all formats, including live, because then when these platforms change, you're always in a position to still get reach and to still grow your business. So for me, I prefer video because even though it's not always the most heavily weighed in the algorithm, I find that in recorded videos or live videos, you can connect with people more. People start to know you a lot deeper than they would just through articles or text posts. It might take them reading like 100 articles of mine to really feel like they know my essence versus, one super deep live intensive where I just show up for an hour and then everyone really gets to know me. So I would say video is the best way to connect with people long term and grow a brand where people really know you for you and trust you and see you as a real human being with a real business. I think that's so key. A lot of these pages on LinkedIn, they're just posting text posts articles. We don't even really know if it's them. It's like, who are you? Is someone just running this page? I've never actually seen you show up on video. Like, what are you all? Is this is this just a brand? Is this just a business? So, in that regard, I would absolutely say video is most effective for sales. But yes, I would always say to include a mix of content. And if you go to my profile, you will see I'm not just going live and posting videos. I do have photo posts and text posts, doc uploads, that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, that's great stuff. And very important. Diversity in your content will definitely speak to different audiences because let's face it, people are different. And especially
Yes.
when you have a big community like yours, 600,000 people, right? Plus, they still choose to consume their content in different ways. Some people are more visual, they want text. Other people are more audio people. They just don't care about the video, just want to listen in. So that's a good idea to always diversify. And on that note, I'm going to commit to playing the song because I did find it on YouTube, but I'm
That's
going to
so
play it
funny.
in
Yeah.
the end of the show. So that's
There
your
you
good
go. How to
incentive to stick
Yeah,
around.
right?
If you want to see Shay in the Christmas outfit, totally singing that song just for a minute. So I'll definitely make this happen because that's great.
Yes,
And
example of a super, super creative over the top campaign to get
over
LinkedIn Live. If you guys need some inspiration, there you go.
exactly. No, I think that's exactly what we need. Some inspiration, and yeah, Ian says so. The key to getting LinkedIn Live is to sing a song. That is true. So Jared is asking, once you get approved, does it stay forever, or can they take it away? My understanding is they do not take it away unless you do something outrageous and you get banned. But correct me if I'm wrong, Shay. I think it's forever, right? Like once you're approved.
No, no, yeah, it won't get taken away again unless you get banned, which I would argue in today's time, you don't even need to be that outrageous to get banned. But yeah, that would be my information is once you get it, you get it. It stays on your profile. Doesn't even matter if you don't use it for a while. I've had clients who've actually had it sitting there for months before they even did anything with it, and it still stays.
Yeah, so that's another thing that I recommend to people that a lot of times when you apply, you don't always hear back from LinkedIn with the confirmation. I'm not quite sure why this is happening this way. They might be overwhelmed. They might be just their system of notification or emailing you is not. It's kind of still in development. But what I heard from a lot of people is that they would get approved, they would not know, and then one of the ways that we recently came up with as a recommendation to test it is just to create a free Restream account, log in, try to add your LinkedIn Live, and see if it's going to let you go. Because at Restream, as an official partner of LinkedIn Live, we do check that approval status for you. It's done on the back end through API, and then we will know if you're approved, and then you will see immediately that yes, you can actually go live. So just a very very hacky, but kind of like a pro tip for you if you want to see if you know that you applied multiple times, if you think you qualify, and you just haven't heard from them just yet, and that's just a good way to see if that's happening. Awesome. So when it comes to growing your LinkedIn channel, is there any kind of tips or tricks or any kind of formula or framework, if you wish, to set up your LinkedIn channel for growth?
Yes, lots of tips. Lots of tips for growth here. Well, the first thing I would say is it's really important on LinkedIn specifically that you are active here. That you're not just only active on your own profile, but that you're out in the news feed, engaging with others, commenting, connecting with people. That is actually the best way to grow in tandem with releasing your own content. So, it's not just about the content, it's about showing up in other areas of the platform. That's how a lot of people find you. They see your comments. I think it's really important to connect with your competitors, connect with other people in your industry, because a lot of them post content that you would have relevant input on since you're in the same industry. But a lot of them, they don't actually reply to their own comments. So what you can start doing is kind of hijacking their thread, going in and replying to comments, being the expert in the space, and then boom, all those people start to follow you. So now that you're showing up on the platform and just being helpful, being valuable, more and more people are going to start to come back to your profile. And then that's why it's important to have the content and have the profile optimization. And these are all things that we teach in my program. But ultimately, I would say, as with anything in life, social media is no exception. You have to give to get. So if you want growth on social media, what are you doing to contribute to other people growing? Are you liking other people's posts? Are you commenting? Are you connecting? And always, send out, I would say, as many connections as you can a day. There is a limit, but when people connect with you, one of the first things they go and do is look at your content. So that right there will boost your engagement. If every day you have a few new people coming to your profile to view your videos and like your posts, that also is going to boost your LinkedIn profile in the feed.
Absolutely. And it will also create opportunity for retention, right? Because people who signed up or decided to follow you or subscribe to you are not going to stay there if there's nothing in it for them, right? Like, so feeding that new
True.
content
Yeah.
attracts new people. It definitely helps you trend and rate well on the platform, but it also does good service for people who did follow you and did decide to connect with you because they're getting value out of it, which is super important. Amazing, good stuff. So, when it comes to working on your strategy for your personal LinkedIn Live profile as a personal brand or just as a professional in any industry and area versus your company's page when you're kind of working on building your brand and building awareness around your product, is there a difference or something that one should do and the other shouldn't, or the other way around?
Great question. I do believe that LinkedIn company pages are going to weigh a lot more in the future. I think right now, personal pages are still the way to go to optimize growth. There's a little bit more opportunity to be seen there. Um, but I do think eventually company pages are gonna weigh a lot more. So I always tell my clients, grow your personal page and share your page. So, every week or so, you'll see me actually sharing a post from my company page. And the way that I do it, which is also what I recommend for a lot of my clients, is that my personal page encompasses like everything, right? Like I've got marketing tips, my experience as a LinkedIn marketer. I've got my healing company and tips that I share around personal development and healing, all the way down to just my personal life and, oh look, I can do the splits now, I've been working out, and all these things. So my personal page, it's like anything goes, but on my business pages I keep it very niche to the business. If somebody follows Shay Rowbottom marketing, so not Shay Rowbottom the personal brand, but Shay Rowbottom marketing, my company page on LinkedIn, I'm going to make sure to do a really good job on that company page to only talk about marketing. Okay, because if they want the healing, if they want that, they can go to my personal page and whatnot. But I really do what I can to keep it niche. And then I share those posts onto my company page, onto my personal page with a caption that says, if you're interested in more marketing content specifically from me, go ahead and follow my company page on LinkedIn. And it's the same with my healing page. Now I have a Shay Rowbottom Healing. Same thing. The only content that goes out there is about healing, spirituality, personal development, and that I will also share to my personal page. So there's people who follow me only for marketing. They don't want to be bogged down with a video of me doing the splits. So they're just going to go follow Shay Rowbottom Marketing, and they can ensure they're going to get all my tips there. There's people who
Mhm.
don't even follow me for marketing. There's people who just love my content about healing and the spiritual journey and personal development. Those people are going to probably be diehard fans of my Shay Rowbottom Healing page because, again, even though I'm posting all this on my personal page, they're still going to at times get elements of the marketing and the LinkedIn hacks and things that they're maybe not interested in. So that's the way that I structure it. I really keep my company pages niche. And if you want to learn more about me, the individual, and other businesses that I have, well, you can go ahead and do so on my main personal page.
Amazing. Yeah, that's great. And you're kind of in a unique situation because your world is so diverse. You have so many different things. And, but yeah, I think it's a great advice to kind of like cross reference them, but at the same time, keep them to the topic. So if you guys want to connect with Shay, this is the best way to do it. LinkedIn .com and Shay Rowbottom. That's how you can connect with Shay. And then from there, all those diverse pages and opportunities and specific topics will be available for you. Speaking of hacks on LinkedIn, what are your tips for discoverability? And I'll preface that with by saying that currently, to the best of my knowledge, it's not very easy to get discovered on LinkedIn as a creator. And I'm comparing that to something like YouTube, for example, where you
Mhm.
can kind of play with keywords, titles, do a lot of research on what's trending, what's popular, what people are searching for, because YouTube is kind of the Google of videos. So LinkedIn doesn't quite work that way. So if I was interested in specific topic, it's not very easy for me to, for example, type healing and find your page right away. And the other way around, as a creator, I know that not even all my a couple of like 6,000 followers see every single piece of content that I post, because LinkedIn has certain algorithms that shows the content to some people and doesn't show them to other. So what's your tip on kind of outsmarting those algorithms, if you wish, and get discovered?
Yeah, that's a great question. This is why I teach content marketing, because I think when you create quality content, that speaks for itself. You're going to have other people on the platform sharing it, commenting on it, messaging the link to their friends. And then in that sense, your fans sort of become growth ambassadors who allow you to be seen by more and more people and grow your page for you. But that being said, one of the main things that I see people just have no awareness of on LinkedIn in terms of getting discovered is they don't realize that the headline, so that little blurb of characters you've got under your name there, so that is what shows up in the keyword search on LinkedIn. So you want to make sure that whatever it is that you do, whether it's video marketing, financial advising, whatever it is, you need to make sure that any keywords associated with that industry are also in your headline. Because anytime someone goes and searches on LinkedIn for financial advisor, that's how LinkedIn is going to pull up the profiles based on that headline in the keyword search. So I always say with the headline, make it very clear what it is you do, who you help. Hey, I help businesses create videos for LinkedIn. DM me. But with any leftover characters, I'm just going to put in things that I think would be relevant in the keyword search. So you see it in mine now. It's like marketing, healing, public speaking, because I also want to show up as a result when people are looking for public speakers. So keep that in mind as well. I think that alone, revamping that will help with your searchability. And then again, just making good content, encouraging people to share it, watch it, tell their friends about it. And eventually, you do enough of that and the platform responds. They say, okay, we hear you, Shay. We see you. You're valuable. Everyone loves you. We're going to start ranking you higher in the algorithm. And that is exactly how I did it.
Amazing. Yeah, that's great. That's kind of like an easy first step to do, right? Just like revamp and rethink your title, like your
Yeah.
line under your name. And I'm sure you can change it quite a bit and see what ranks better, what gives you better results. Luckily, you can change it all the time. It's not like Facebook name, right? Like if you change it, then for 30 days, you're kind of
Right.
that
That's so
option is
true.
locked
That's
for
so
you.
true.
You can't do
Yeah.
that again. But with LinkedIn, it's very easy to change. And I know you have like your little sun added there, so you can add emojis to your names if you want to. I do have like a camera and lights, I think, or camera and microphone, which I think represents my life as a host and live video evangelist. So definitely explore and experiment with those headlines. I do change mine quite a bit, specifically for that reason, just because sometimes I want to rank more as a host or a live video person, and sometimes I'm like more an influencer marketer because that's what I'm trying to do and trying to focus on my community on. That's a really good tip. I love that. So speaking of different platforms, you mentioned YouTube, you mentioned Facebook. Why is it important for you specifically and for other people who want to be successful with live video in general to multi-stream and multicast their videos to a lot of platforms? Because you could potentially just go to LinkedIn only or YouTube only, but I know you choose to go to multiple destinations. Why covering a lot of different platforms is important?
Yeah, absolutely. There's just certain people that aren't on LinkedIn. There's certain
Mm.
people on different platforms. I have actually been on a really funny journey with this because for so long I really only focused on LinkedIn, and it wasn't until about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, I started to get really serious about repurposing and reposting content on other platforms, knowing there was opportunity there, but not wanting to get sidetracked with what I already had going on LinkedIn. And what I found was, oh my gosh, totally. Even though most of my leads still come from LinkedIn, my biggest channel, I get leads from Instagram now. I get leads from Clubhouse, Facebook. So I just say, why not? If you can stream it to other platforms, do it. And something that's really funny is a lot of the people that I have met in my personal life on my spiritual journey in the healing community at these different events and whatnot is, they don't use LinkedIn. They don't know anything about LinkedIn. A lot of them aren't business people, but I've met them through a different channel, right? Through a different avenue, which is my insatiable hunger for healing and personal development. And when I meet people there, they're way more likely to follow me on Instagram. And then when they follow me on Instagram, now I get all of these people coming to me saying, "Oh, I love that video you posted. I love what you just did." And I'm thinking, "Well, where do you see me? I'm on LinkedIn." Like, "Yeah, you're not on LinkedIn." They're like, "No, no, no, you're Instagram." And I'm like, "Oh, that's right." So it's kind of been cool over the past year to see like a live visual of how many people, just in my day-to-day life, who I've met out at events and living in Miami, how many of them are getting so much from my content. And I thought to myself, "Oh my God, thank God I started posting on Instagram. Otherwise, these people would have no idea that I have this knowledge and they would never see me." So that would be my recommendation, is just, you never know who's out there. You never know what connections you can make. And also, you never want to be dependent on one channel. These platforms do have their ebbs and flows. Things could go down. You could get banned, like I was saying earlier, with all the censorship lately. Like, you do want to have a backup platform. You do want to have something else to promote on. So I always say, if you're already doing content, great, you can rinse and remix and repurpose what you already have for these additional channels.
Yeah, totally. And with a tool like Restream, you don't really have to do any additional work. You just do it once and then it goes everywhere. So that's
I love that.
that's
Yeah,
uh,
it's
that's
so
an
it's so
easy.
easy. And I love that you can even in Restream, you guys, you can even do it in the groups. I have some groups on Facebook. I stream actually to my Facebook page, like my business page, and my personal page. So like it's just killer. It makes things so much easier, as opposed to having an admin like, "Okay, we're live now, go share it everywhere." It's like, nope, we're just live everywhere at once, one button, super simple.
Exactly. And that's when sometimes people ask me, 30 platforms, where do you get 30 platforms? They're not even, that's not even a thing. And I always
Yeah.
say, well, that's your 30 destinations, right? And a lot of your destinations might be within the same platform. Just like you mentioned, you might have a profile, a page, and a couple of groups. You might have other partners or guests that joining you that also want their group to be included into where the show goes. So there's a lot of opportunity there. And again, like, you still make one show, one piece of content, and Restream just like spreads it out for you, which is great. And just a quick question. I see that our community manager already responded to that, but the question is it possible to go live on LinkedIn with free subscription with Restream? And the answer is yes, absolutely. As long as you're approved for LinkedIn Live, we actually don't charge you for LinkedIn. That's not our paid destinations. Groups and pages on Facebook are, because those are considered professional destinations, but your personal LinkedIn profile is not. So you're free to go for free. No problem. Awesome. So I think it would make sense. We'll kind of like dive a little bit into the metrics and kind of like measuring your success on LinkedIn. So what kind of statistics do you usually look at or recommend that people kind of keep in mind when they are in that growth mode on LinkedIn? Like, what are the important metrics? Is it just the followers? Is it the views? Is it engagement?
Yeah,
Like,
I would
what kind
say
of things do you
engagement.
monitor?
Yeah,
Mhm.
comments for sure. You want comments. A lot of times the posts that are weighed heaviest in the LinkedIn feed are posts with a lot of comments, but not just comments, specifically long comments, conversational comments, paragraph long comments. You can go to my LinkedIn and even see my post from this morning, my most recent one. It's about college, so it's controversial, of course, but the comments are like thick, like they're long, they're conversational. So that's what I use to measure an engaging page. I think that, likes and views and some other vanity metrics, of course, help. But at the end of the day, if people aren't engaged and becoming part of the conversation, your content's likely not really making a difference. It's not really impacting people. And I do find that the posts with more comments usually result in more connections, more diehard fans, and that sort of thing. So definitely, I would say pay attention to your comments and pay attention to your messages. How many people are sending you messages every day? I used to track that pretty heavily in the beginning. When I would post a video, I would check my inbox, and it was like, how many people reached out to me because of this video? And those conversations that start from the video content, be it college, or today we're talking about live or healing or marketing or whatever it is, a lot of times those conversations, um, they just attract people who just want to talk to talk. They're not trying to do business. They're not trying to pitch you. They're not expecting you to pitch them. But what's happening in that relationship is you're just trusting one another. You're just meeting one another where you're at. And on LinkedIn, people love helping people. So I always say it's not about your connections, it's about who your connections can connect you to. So even though someone might message me because I did a post about college and they, let's say, agree with everything that I said, and now they feel connected to me. Well, that person in my inbox might not actually be a lead for my marketing business. That's fine. I already have them as a friend because we align on something, agree on something, which is college. And I can just ask them, hey, by the way, I have a marketing business. If you know anyone who needs help, let me know. I have gotten countless business and countless relationships simply from asking my fans who, yeah, they themselves are maybe never going to give me their money, but I just ask, hey, can you help me get in front of people who do want to give me their money? And they always do it. They're always grateful to help. And it's nothing to them because they already feel like they know, like, and trust me. We're friends. And of course, that I'm already providing them a free service, which is content. And I don't ask for anything. So when I do ask, I find that it goes really well. And I find that on LinkedIn, it's all about who just keep posting, get connected with the right people, make connections, people you have something in common with that you can relate to. Awesome. And then business is the next step after that.
Absolutely. I really love that idea of measuring conversations and the quality of conversations versus a bunch of those vanity metrics that all social media platforms are kind of training you to get keen on, like this the
Oh,
subscribers, the
yeah.
number of followers, the number of likes. But yeah, the meaningful conversations, the long, like thick comments, that's something really cool. I really love that. Just a couple of comments here. Also, I see a lot of valuable information in this episodes, uh, how to increase the viewership and connectivity with people. I'm also seeing that you're seeing certain number of people on the platform. Remember that we are currently live at 4 destinations. We're live on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So you're just seeing the portion that is watching on YouTube in particular. But that's a good question. How do you increase the number of people that are connecting and
Yeah.
engaging with your content?
Ask. You just ask. So, like, at the end of my videos, I'll usually have a CTA. What do you think about this topic? Or have you ever experienced this? And let me know your experience in the comments below. So I just ask for people to engage, and that usually works. And also asking people to connect. You could literally make a video outro and put it at the end of every single video, just saying, prompting people to connect with you on LinkedIn. I also did that in the beginning. I was, prompting everyone to follow me. That worked really well. I actually have my clients who are new to video completely, who've never done anything. In their very first LinkedIn video, I have them ask the platform, who should I connect with based on this information I've just shared about myself and how I've just introduced myself? Who should I connect with here? Please tag them below. So now they're not only getting recommendations on who to connect with, but they're also getting free engagement in the comments, which again helps boost that post in the algorithm so more people see it. So I would just say ask, start out by always making sure that your videos and your content has a CTA, one solid CTA, not too many. You don't want to be like, oh, join my email list and do this here and do this. It's like you're just going to turn people off completely if you get complicated, but just one simple outro, either connect with me if you found this valuable, or comment below what your thoughts are. And that's a great way to pool engagement and also get new connections.
I will take this opportunity to recommend everyone who is finding value in this episode and who's enjoying the conversation to share this video with their friends and tag people who might also find some value in this. Even though our main CTA, as always, is try Restream, try to go live. It's amazing. That's what we recommend you do. But just for the sake of this argument, right? Like why not invite people to share? And for those who are experiencing us through podcasts, I'm just going to reintroduce you real quick. My guest today is Shay Rowbottom. She is LinkedIn Live video coach, video marketer, and public speaker. We are talking about LinkedIn Live in particular and live video in general, how to succeed on social media with creative content. So, speaking about content and monetization, that's kind of like that eternal question that I'm sure a lot of your clients come in with. Let's say I have content, I have plan, I have talent, I have a product that I want to sell. How do I monetize specifically what I can do on social media? Because it's not as transactional as your pay-per-click or search engine optimization, right? The content doesn't convert as obviously as some other marketing ways. So how do you measure and monetize what you are building on your live video platforms?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Um, it's actually, I will say I'm a little bit unique in that all of my business comes from inbound leads, inbound messages that I get on LinkedIn from people who've seen my videos, which are all organic, by the way. So
Mhm.
I have a pretty unique business, which is why I think people are so attracted to me and want to work with me, because they see that power of organic marketing and being able to take it into your own hands without running ads and doing all these other things that are easier to measure, but are always going to be dependent on you putting some money in. This is simply teaching people how to market themselves organically and let the leads come to them. The ability to sell when all of my leads are coming to me is a lot stronger. So I would say that it's challenging to measure exactly, only because of the nature of my business, which is 100% organic video marketing, and all of my leads come inbound organic, or a one-off here and there from someone I meet at a mastermind or a networking event and whatnot. Um, so I would just say test everything, track things as closely as you can. There is a really awesome plugin for tracking. It's called Shield.ai, Shield Analytics, and they track your LinkedIn metrics. That I do recommend. So that gives me good feedback every month on, like, okay, what content are people liking, what's most engaged, etc. So I can go back and always reference my metrics. And then I have my sales team track manually the amount of leads that come in per post. So again, it's not perfect because everything's organic. So there's always a chance that, the 10 leads that came in today, well, one of them is actually dragging behind from the video yesterday. But we have a pretty good system over the years that we've worked out where it's pretty easy to tell by now how many leads get brought in per post. And the funny thing, Anya, is it's not always linked to viewership. Just because something has the most views doesn't always mean it brings in the most leads. I've had posts with only 500 likes before, which is not very high performing for my page, but it's gotten more leads than anything else that month. So always checking that, reviewing that, and asking yourself, okay, this obviously worked in terms of yielding leads. How can I remake this same piece of content, or how can I remix it or repurpose it again? And that's basically my formula. If I ever am down or feeling like I'm not getting the same volume of leads as I should be, my team and I just go into the archive, find our catalog of the highest performing posts ever in terms of yielding leads, and we just go and start to repurpose and repost some of those, and then boom, the leads go back up. So it's really inspiring once you get on this content creation journey. This is what I always tell people is, it gets easier. It's like the more you do it, the more data you have on what works. If you're just new and starting out, you're more likely to quit because you're going to throw a few things at the wall. You're going to make a video, you're going to go live once, it's not going to work, and you're going to be like, this sucks, I don't like it, doesn't work, and you're going to quit. If you actually keep going consistently, you are going to have success stories. You are going to have days where your content pops and gets leads, and that's the magic. That's when you start accumulating the data so that you know how to always be mixing into your content what is successful and what is not. So the longer you go at it, the easier it gets. I always joke, I don't even have to come up with any new ideas anymore. I've done so many ideas that work. If I want to take a year off or have writer's block or creator's block, I can actually do that because I have so much data around what's worked in the past. So just track everything as best you can. And for metrics, I do recommend shield.ai.
Great. That's amazing. I really like your idea about focusing on what's impactful. Of course, experiments is everything when it comes to live streaming and creative content in general. You're absolutely right. You can make a formula that if you do this in the video, it's going to convert or create leads. So you have to do this a little bit of a trial and error every now and then. But once you've figured out that this is working, this is definitely engaging, and that leads me to the results that I want to get, definitely focus on those high impactful things, because that's definitely going to optimize your time and maximize your success.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We had a couple of compliments on our microphones. So if you don't mind sharing what model are you using? Mine is AKG
Oh my gosh, I don't even know
B220.
what mine is. Hang on, let me look. John told me to buy this mic. Let me
Yeah,
see. I
that's
will
okay.
find it quick. Yeah,
I'm
I'll
gonna,
find
I'm
it quick.
gonna maximize you real quick and see if I can figure it out. Yeah, the
Ah,
mics
here
are
we
very
go. This is the Shure SM7B cardioid dynamic microphone. I'll give you the Amazon link right now, Anya, so you can share if you want.
amazing,
Yeah,
amazing, totally. Yeah, so microphones are super, super important. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. Why not?
there you go.
Microphones are very important because you will definitely increase the quality of your content big time if you sound crisp and pro.
Right.
My constant tip to content creators is don't worry about your DSLR best ever camera. Don't worry about it. Get good lighting, because your general web camera is going to work well with the proper lighting, and then focus and invest in your audio, because that's a lot more opportunity to repurpose. You can make
I
audiograms,
agree.
you can make
I
podcasts.
love the
Yes.
audiograms. Yeah. And someone
Yeah.
just asked what the interface that I use for this is. I actually have the Focusrite, Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 is what it's called. Maybe you guys have seen it
Yeah.
before. It's red.
Focusrite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
And
one
I
that I'm
got
using.
and I mean, I do have a webcam I'm picking up right now, but this is a nice quality webcam, but I actually don't have any lighting. So just like Anya said, you can just find a window with natural
Yeah.
light, and check this out.
Yeah.
This is my little view. You can see I got a nice little view of my pool while I do the
Beautiful.
live. So I got my nice little backyard, but this camera right in front of a window works great. You know, it's only at night that I actually have to put a light on me. Pretty much any hour of the day, as long as I'm in front of these windows, I'm like fully lit, and people are like, "Oh, you look great." So keep that in mind as well. And I say the same thing with people starting videos. You can shoot on your cell phone. You don't need all this fancy equipment, but you do need light. You need light. So stand in front of a window and make sure your face is evenly lit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Light is more important. I like to tell people that the best camera in the world with poor lighting is going to produce absolutely crap video. And the most modest camera in the world with perfect lighting is going to give you good results.
That's so
And
true.
yes, microphones everywhere. Lawson is saying, same mic great podcasters use, like Joe Rogan. That's you. That's amazing. I love that. That's really cool. And Anita is asking, what web camera are you using? Since you brought it up, it's kind of like a product drop.
Right? It's the Logitech. See, I got my team does everything for me. So I'm like, John got me
The
this.
Logitech.
Dominic got me this camera, but Logitech HD 1080p. So I don't know. It's just a basic camera. Yeah, but it works well.
Yeah, it's a good one. Logitechs are great. That's the one that I also have as a backup for my camera in case something goes wrong. So to wrap this up, and before we, for real, I'm not kidding you, going to play the Christmas song in the end
that's
of the
right. I forgot
video.
all about it. Oh God, here we go.
Exactly. To wrap this up, I just wanted to see if there's any favorite Restream feature or anything cool that you've done with Restream recently that you would like to share with our community. It's always great to hear like how our users and customers find Restream, like what they find helpful. So anything special that you recently discovered in Restream that made you smile?
I wouldn't say anything recently, but just the studio. I love, Anya. Like, I love being backstage. I feel everything is laid out so easily. I love that I can see the comments as they come in. I love that I can, display the comments if I want as they come in. So I would just say backstage and Restream is one of my new hangout spots.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, sorry about that. It kind of like jumped in before I was ready for it. But it's coming. It's the same. Yeah, I was just like kind of like preparing for it right away. So we are going to wrap this up. Thank you so much, Shay, for staying with us today, for sharing your great pearls of wisdom. So many amazing tips for people who are building their presence on LinkedIn and thinking about growing their LinkedIn life and monetizing that. We are definitely like super excited to see you among Restreamers and being part of your family, of our family, and of course being part of your family too, since we're working together. Thank you so much, Shay. It was such a pleasure.
Absolutely, Anya. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And now to the song that you could create in order to get approved for LinkedIn Live. And
this is all you have to do to get live, guys. No big deal. This is all you need, is this extensive music video.
No big deal.
I don't want a lot from LinkedIn. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about your features, stories, posts, and polls. Oh, please. I just want a LinkedIn Live. Dream of it asleep at night. LinkedIn Live, come through.
God, I got approved for live. Yes. Join me Tuesday, January 5th at 4 p.m. EST on my LinkedIn page for my very first LinkedIn Live. And Merry Christmas, everyone.
All I want from LinkedIn is life, baby. Oh, all I want from LinkedIn is.
This is our show today. We did play the Christmas music in spring, almost in summer. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today and watching. This was so much fun. Shay, you're amazingly talented. Let's do a high five if you figured out how to.
Yes. Wait.
The other one, the
Wait, no,
other,
wait,
the
wait,
other
how do I
arm.
go? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, ready? One,
Wait,
two,
2,
and
3.
boom. We did it. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Thank
Great
you,
show. Cheers,
Anya.
everybody.